And in all those years, I've only been truly angry at my wife twice. And both times, it was because she almost killed me. And I have this thing about getting killed. The first time my wife almost killed me, she was always leaving her stuff on the staircase. And I told her it was dangerous. Things like her roller skates and her marble collection. And I kept telling her, I'm going to slip and fall, break my neck, become a quadriplegic, and my helper monkey is going to turn on me. He's going to start screwing around with my respirator and deleting my emails before I get a chance to read them. Stupid monkey. But my wife accuses me of being overly dramatic, and she keeps doing it. So one morning, I'm leaving for work, and my sister-in-law is sleeping over in our finished basement. So I don't turn the basement light on when I leave, and I take my first step onto the basement stairs, right onto my wife's boots. And I think we can all agree, the best place to store your boots in a big house with closets is on the top step of a long flight of stairs leading down to a concrete floor. The best place. And I go flying. I fall down the entire basement stairs. Whomp, whomp, whomp. 17 whomps. And as I'm tumbling down, I'm so angry. I'm thinking to myself that if I'm not paralyzed when I get to the bottom, I'm going to go right back up those stairs and strangle her. Because I felt that would be the most personally gratifying thing. You can stab someone, you can shoot someone, but nothing says, this is personal, like strangulation. So I land on the concrete floor with a bone-jarring thud, and I feel around, and most of my internal organs are where they're supposed to be. And I start back up the stairs, furious. And I get halfway up there, and I realize I have an ethical dilemma. Because my fall woke my sister-in-law. So now there's a witness. And being a righteous person, I really can't morally justify also killing my sister. So I go to work instead, and by the time I come home, I'm too tired to kill anybody. It's a lot of work. The second time that my wife almost killed me and ticked me off was when we had mud bees in our backyard. And mud bees form an underground nest, and they typically have 2 exit holes coming off them. And the best way to get rid of them is to burn them out. So my wife and I go to the backyard, and we pour gasoline into the mud bee nest, and we stuff newspaper into each of the exit holes, and we both light them at the same time. And I get mine lit, and I look over, and my wife is having trouble. I just want to emphasize this. She's having trouble setting fire to newspaper soaked in gas. So I come over and I say, here, let me do it. And I bend down and I start lighting the newspaper. And at that moment, my wife decides to help me. Because there's no way I could possibly do this correctly on my own. And she helps me by taking the gasoline can and pouring more gasoline onto the newspaper and my lit match. And the thing flares on me. There's a wall of heat. My eyebrows are singed black. I look like Wile E. Coyote after an Acme rocket meltdown. If I had been Buddhist, I would have gone up like a torch. They were much more flammable than other religious groups. And so I turned to my wife to inquire politely why she would pour gasoline on a flame that was near my eyes. And I'm sure, had I been horribly disfigured, she'd stick right by me. And I look at her, and the gas can she's holding is on fire. And she's staring at it, panic-stricken, frozen like a deer in the headlights, not knowing what to do. And I come this close to yelling out, "Honey, grab it with both your hands." But instead, instinct takes over. I knock the gas can out of her hand. I throw her to the ground away from it. And the gas can explodes. It sends a flame 30 feet up into the sky. Ashes coming down on us. Tree branches are on fire. My backyard looks like a scene out of Mission Impossible. Astronauts on the space shuttle saw it. Houston, was there a missile launch at Miss Cayuna? And I'm so angry, I get up to strangle her. Because I felt that would be the most personally gratifying. And I had missed my chance the last time. But the explosion brings out our neighbors, Bob and Nancy. So now there are witnesses. And I have an ethical dilemma. Because I really couldn't morally justify also killing Nancy. Bob I did not care for. So once again, I don't get to strangle anybody. It's very frustrating. But here's the epilogue. Later that evening, after the fire department and the police department and Homeland Security and the Girl Scouts of America had all left, the Girl Scouts were making s'mores on our fire. And we're alone in the house. I asked my wife, and I knew I shouldn't, but I couldn't help myself. I said, "Honey, what were you thinking when you poured gasoline on a flame that was near my face? Didn't you think it might be dangerous?" And this is what she said. She said, "You know, we had a big dinner party 2 years ago. And afterwards, you didn't help with a single dish. You're very